Hi, my name is Amanda Grant Rose, and I'm sorry that I can't be with you today, but wanted to answer some questions that Eileen is going to ask me, and am just really excited that this is the second annual conference.
Thank you, Amanda. Well, first, could we start out and learn a little bit about how you learned about your disability and then how you proceeded to understand what you needed in terms of accommodations?
Sure. My disability story started when I was quite young. I was in second grade, and my mother read to me every night before I went to bed. And one night I was sitting in her lap, and she pulled out the book that she always reads, Miss Rumphilius. And I was sitting there, and I looked up at her wide-eyed and said, "Mom, how do you do that? How do you keep the words on the page?" She right away knew that there was something not quite right with that statement and took me in to be tested with some inappropriate testing, with some testing that wasn't done correctly. They were given a wrong diagnostic workup. They then took me to Children's Hospital in Boston, and they found out that I have dyslexia, and services began right away. My family realized that learning for me to advocate for myself was going to be the key to my success. So at a very young age, they started using clinical terminology. They talked to me about what my disability meant, about my processing disorder, and it was very open and it was very honest. We kept that going. We did our IEPs, and by high school my parents required that I was in charge of my own IEP meetings, which meant I ran the meeting and I talked about my disability and what was working and what wasn't. I increased my books on tape. I worked with writing specialists, and by the time I got to high school, my senior year, I didn't tell my parents, but I took myself out of the special education curriculum and put myself into honors classes. They were a little surprised when they got my report card, and were just really excited that I had taken to heart what it meant to advocate.
So next, Amanda, could you fast forward now that you're in professional life? Let us know a little bit about how your goals and objectives, both academic and professional, have been influenced by your disability and the way you have managed your disability.
Managing a disability is a lifelong experience. It starts from the day you're born, if you're born with it, or the day that you're the onset of the disability, and it goes till forever. I knew right away that the advocating for myself needed to continue. I went to the University of Arizona, which provided me really great supports and taught me how to take a step back from this family support that I was receiving and learn how to do those things for myself. I'm much more reliant now on technology. I know I'll never be able to write a paper and turn it in. If my professors are there, they can attest to that. And I need to have stuff read and edited. And that has followed me through now to my professional life as well. I work for a small nonprofit called Lift Up Africa, doing development work in Tanzania, Kenya, and Namibia. And everything that I do, from my publications to my project reports to the information that we give to donors, always is, edited one more time to make sure that it's a successful document.
Amanda, could you tell us why, when you came to the Harvard Graduate School of Education, it was important to you to be involved in a student organization and to have a student voice in this very inclusive community?
The first thing I did when I came to Harvard was I knocked on Eileen's door, and she couldn't get rid of me from that moment moving forward. I knew that right away it was going to be important to me to find my voice at Harvard, and I knew that if I was finding my voice, that there were going to be other people who were just as passionate as I was, either about their disability specifically or about disabilities in general. And so a group of us got together and we started and founded the IHED group. And it's just an opportunity for students on campus to get together, to have a healthy debate, to, if you're comfortable, come out and have a community that will support you if you do have a disability, but at the same time have people, disabled and non-disabled, sit next to each other, break bread, enjoy each other's company, and really open up a dialogue of diversity, of inclusion, of the ability for students to get together and really commit themselves to creating a community that is open to everybody. And that was what we hoped has happened, and since this is the second annual conference, I think we did a pretty good job.